Kate's heartfelt tribute to Queen Elizabeth. Princess encourages everyone to cherish wonderful memories. On the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's passing, the Princess of Wales, Kate, delivered a touching message, urging people to hold on to and cherish the wonderful memories they have of the late monarch. She made this poignant statement as she greeted crowds outside St David's Cathedral in Pembrokeshire, Wales, alongside her husband, Prince William. Kate paid her respects to the Queen by wearing earrings that once belonged to Her Majesty. The royal couple arrived at St David's Cathedral via helicopter for a private service. During the ceremony, Kate placed a floral tribute of white roses in front of a framed photograph of the Queen. Afterward, she and William stood in quiet contemplation with bowed heads for about 10 seconds before departing. Outside the cathedral, Kate had a brief conversation with Patricia Mawuli Porter OBE, a local flying instructor, who shared her memories of the Queen's warmth. Kate responded by saying, "We all have wonderful memories of her. We have to hold on to them, cherish them." Kate also inquired about the well-wishers' interests, mentioning fishing trips and sailing. The visit to the ancient cathedral in southwest Wales marked the one-year anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's passing at the age of 96. Crowds had gathered from early morning to catch a glimpse of William and Kate, but their arrival was delayed by over an hour due to fog rerouting their helicopter. Despite the delay, the royal couple greeted well-wishers before entering the cathedral for the 10-minute service. One enthusiastic onlooker shouted, "You're doing a great job," toward Prince William. The Very Reverend Dr. Sarah Rowland Jones, Dean of St David's, acknowledged the significance of their visit, especially on Accession Day, the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's death. She mentioned that Queen Elizabeth had visited the cathedral 4 times during her reign, highlighting her unique connection to the place. Kensington Palace later described the floral tribute as a moment of reflection at St David's Cathedral, honoring Her late Majesty and all that she did for communities like this around the UK, the Commonwealth, and the world. Coincidentally, Prince Harry made a secret visit to St George's Chapel in Windsor, where the Queen is buried, at the same time as William and Kate's visit to St David's. Royal fans in attendance expressed their appreciation for the modern approach of the monarchy, with one stating that William and Charles would be good examples for future generations. American tourists also canceled their plans to see William and Kate, reflecting on their admiration for Princess Diana and the royal family's family-oriented image. St David's Cathedral held a special place in Queen Elizabeth's heart, and the decision by the Prince and Princess of Wales to visit the cathedral symbolizes their deep affection for the location and their evolving roles within the royal family. Britain's smallest city, St David's, lost its city status at one point, but regained it in 1994, alongside the Northern Irish town of Armagh. This restoration of city status was granted at the request of Queen Elizabeth, acknowledging their significant Christian heritage and their historical city status. This momentous event occurred amidst a period of collective mourning within the royal family. Earlier, King Charles displayed deep emotions as he departed from Crathie Kirk near Balmoral, where he had paid a heartfelt tribute to his beloved mother. As the nation observed the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's passing, crowds gathered at Buckingham Palace, and military gun salutes resonated across the United Kingdom in her honor. Prince William and Kate Middleton also took part in commemorating the late monarch by sharing their favorite pictures of Queen Elizabeth on their Instagram page. They expressed, "Today we remember the extraordinary life and legacy of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth. We all miss you, WNC." Their Instagram posts featured several images of the late Queen, including one where she was seen with her great-grandchildren at Balmoral, a photo captured by Kate Middleton herself. Another photo depicted the royal family on the balcony of Buckingham Palace during the Platinum Jubilee celebrations on June 2, 2022, just 3 months before Queen Elizabeth's passing on September 8. St David's has been a site of pilgrimage and worship for over 1,400 years, tracing its roots back to the settlement of St David, the patron saint of Wales, and his monastic community in the 6th century. Notably, one of the choir stalls in the cathedral has been held by the crown since the Reformation, and is known as the Sovereign Stall. This unique distinction makes St. David's the only UK cathedral where the sovereign has a special stall in the choir among members of the chapter, the governing body of the cathedral. Meanwhile, King Charles and Queen Camilla attended a special service at Crathy Kirk to commemorate the life of Queen Elizabeth. The royal couple received warm wishes from the crowds that had gathered to mark the anniversary of her passing. Charles and Camilla made the short journey by car from the nearby Balmoral estate to the Scottish Church, a tradition followed by successive monarchs since Queen Victoria's time. After the service, they engaged with well-wishers who offered their condolences and presented them with bouquets. The king expressed his appreciation for the flowers and shared light-hearted moments with children, discussing their return to school. Other members of the royal family also participated in the service, including Queen Elizabeth's great-nephews, Samuel and Arthur Chatto, who are the sons of Lady Sarah and Daniel Chatto, and the grandchildren of Princess Margaret. Staff from Balmoral, the beloved Scottish residence of the Queen where she passed away, also attended the service on this sunny September day. In an unusual departure from tradition, King Charles chose to publicly reflect on his mother's life and the grief felt by the nation on the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's passing. This decision signified his deep connection with the country's mourning and his pride in his mother's remarkable life of public service. Initially, Charles had planned to mark his mother's death in private, much like Queen Elizabeth had done for 70 years after King George V's passing, away from the public eye. However, his change of heart in recent weeks was influenced by the overwhelming global expression of grief following his mother's demise on September 8 the previous year. Indeed, the Mail can disclose that King and Queen Camilla decided last night not to return to their Birkhall residence on the Balmoral estate as originally planned. Instead, they opted to stay at the castle itself, where Queen Elizabeth passed away at the age of 96, surrounded by the enchanting beauty of the Scottish Highlands she cherished. They will continue to stay there today, finding solace in the presence of those who were closest to Her late Majesty. They will also spend the night there before returning to their neighboring estate. A source noted, "I think it will be comforting to be surrounded by so much that was familiar to her." This decision coincides with the royal family sharing a previously unseen photograph of the late Queen on social media as they commemorate the first anniversary of her passing. The photograph of Queen Elizabeth was taken by Cecil Beaton at Buckingham Palace when she was just 42 years old in October 1968. While several images from the same set had been previously shared, this particular photograph, featuring the Queen in a lilac dress beaming at the camera, is believed to be newly released. The image was posted on the royal family's official social media page along with a heartfelt caption, "In loving and everlasting memory. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth U, 21st April 1926, 8 September 2022. One of the images from this set is currently on display at the National Portrait Gallery, capturing the Queen's radiant smile. In these photographs, Queen Elizabeth is seen wearing the Cambridge Pearl pendant brooch, a historic piece over 140 years old. Originally owned by Princess Augusta of Hayes Castle, the wife of Prince Adolphus, Duke of Cambridge, the brooch was passed down to Queen Elizabeth from her grandmother. The Queen notably wore this brooch for a portrait on her 50th birthday at Windsor Castle in 1976 and during a Christmas broadcast in 1971. She also wore it in 2019 during a reception at Buckingham Palace to celebrate the Queen's Trust's work, and while welcoming the Peruvian ambassador at the palace in 2018. On this occasion, King Charles paid a poignant tribute to his beloved mother as the nation observed the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's passing. In a departure from tradition, Charles, aged 74, decided to acknowledge his mother's death and his own emotional journey as he ascended the throne in a more public manner. Initially, he had intended to quietly reflect on this in Scotland, much like Queen Elizabeth had done for 70 years. Marking her father King George V's death at Sandringham in Norfolk, away from public view. However, Charles had a change of heart in recent weeks, deeply moved by the global outpouring of grief following his mother's death on September 8 last year. In a significant move, King and Queen Camilla chose to stay at the castle where Queen Elizabeth passed away, instead of returning to their own residence at Birkhall on the Balmoral estate. Meanwhile, the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Kate, are said to observe the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's passing with a private service in Wales. They will attend St David's Cathedral in St David's, the smallest city in Britain, located in Pembrokeshire on Friday. During their visit, they will also meet members of the local community, including those who had the privilege of meeting Queen Elizabeth II during her visits to St David's. St David's has been a place of pilgrimage and worship for over 1,400 years, dating back to the settlement of St David, the patron saint of Wales, and his monastic community in the 6th century. Notably, St David's Cathedral is unique among UK cathedrals, as it has a special stall in the choir reserved for the sovereign, known as the Sovereign's Stall since the Reformation. The late Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh visited St David's Cathedral during a royal tour to Wales in August 1955 following her coronation, marking her as the first monarch to do so since the Reformation. In his heartfelt message, King Charles expressed, "In marking the first anniversary of Her late Majesty's death and my accession, we recall with great affection her long life, devoted service, and all she meant to so many of us. I am deeply grateful, too, for the love and support that has been shown to my wife and myself during this year as we do our utmost to be of service to you all." The message, signed Charles R., was accompanied by a previously unreleased portrait selected by the King. This photograph, taken at Buckingham Palace on October 16, 1968, as part of an official sitting with Cecil Beaton, has not been publicly released until now. King Charles chose it for the captivating and slightly mischievous look in his mother's eyes when she was 42 years old. Dear friend, if you like everything new about the royal family and don't want to miss all the novelties, subscribe to our channel and like it. By doing so, you take part in our development. We work for you.